Hey everyone, Necrovarius is back with another episode of Riven, the sequel to Mist. If you remember in the last episode, so much happened. God, I can't even remember now. We figured out the color puzzle? No, that was 2 episodes ago, I think. We were told by Gen. That he's changed. We then found Catherine, says he hasn't, and that we need to find the moiety, which I think we found here, and we got a couple of things. So before I start, I'm going to read through a couple of these and see where we're at here. I don't know whose journal this is, but I'm going to read through it in the beginning, and then we'll continue playing afterwards. So let's begin. I linked to Riven a week ago. The smell of the place overwhelmed me moments before I could see anything. With my sight only partially cleared, I stood motionless, peering ahead through a dim veil which was slowly lifting. There was a violent clang and bars appeared. I remember breathing slowly and very deeply, testing the familiar Riven air, but not recognizing a thing. I must have been hit with a dart right away. I thought it was an insect bite at first. I'm trying to remember it all, but it's difficult. Maybe because of the drug. There was a voice. A man I did not recognize stood before me, Rivenese, though he was wearing dunny dress. He seemed to be talking to me, but the poison was already taking effect. A shadow crept in and I fell asleep. Then there were many voices, but I understood none of them. Like hundreds of people whispering, I could not wake up. No matter, the dream did end. And now, to be here with Eddie, it's been so many years, I didn't realize how much I missed her. Like a piece of me that I had forgotten I'd lost. She's beautiful, and so full of warmth. But the years have also left her with a wound, which was not there when we were children. I do wish you were more interested. It seems like I'm asking all the questions. It's awkward. No one asks me where I've been or what I've been doing. This hurts. But I understand it. Their beliefs are born out of ignorance and oppression. They're a gentle people, but they've had their nest destroyed and now they frantically cling to anything that might save them. But why have they chosen to cling to me? I'm confused. As a child, I never felt out of place here. I never belonged. They misunderstood me and I couldn't relate to them. But now I'm overwhelmed by an intense feeling that I owe everything to them in this place. I thought I would never see them again, and yet, here I am. I've been given the second chance, but a second chance at what? Saving them? Fulfilling their prophecies? Being their savior? The moiety. Atris would want me to chronicle all that I've learned. I can at least record some of it. It seems that when Atris and I trapped Gen on Riven many years ago, our efforts were witnessed by most of the inhabitants here. 2 of the Rivenese even witnessed the confrontation with Gen at the fissure. When I linked back to Mist, and where Atris threw himself into the abyss, of course, they understood little of what they were seeing. But they somehow were able to guess that we had won, and Gen was no god at all, but only a feeble impostor, a false god, and that we had trapped him here on Riven. I had always hoped they would deduce the simple truth, but their further conclusions have astonished me. Atris had stripped Gen of his power, therefore Atris must be a true god. As a god, he was choosing me, the spiritual misfit from a Rivenese womb, to be his wife. I was transcending into deity and would lord over Riven forever. Thus the moiety, as they call themselves, were born, a dissident society, sworn enemies of Gen. I did not know that their beliefs regarding Atris and myself until 2 days ago. Eddie was, for some reason, hesitant to tell me. I can't figure out why. I know she doesn't believe these things. Of course, everyone else assumed that I would be aware of my own god status, so they made no effort to inform me. I only realized that at a recent gathering at which I was invited. I sat in front of a dimly lit and crowded cave as they told of a mythical story of my life, acting out the battle between Atris, myself, and Gen at the edge of the fissure. The events had been exaggerated into grandiose proportions. It was offensive, but I was unable to stop it. I was unable to break the illusion, which is the very foundation of their hope and purpose, and which has given them courage to band together and rebel against Gen. Since then, I have learned of their other doctrines and beliefs that have evolved, the most disturbing of which is the conviction that one day I would return to Riven to free them. Some believe that I will overthrow Gen, others believe that I will bring them to paradise. I don't know how to deal with this. I fight myself. I love these people, my only real kindred, but they will not love me as an equal, which hurts me. I would rather be their slave than their master. Over the years, as Gen's power has become greater and greater, the moiety's numbers have grown, and they have become more and more adept at hiding themselves. They now live in a complex network of caves that he still has not discovered. The moiety, for the most part, have completely severed their relationship with any of the Rivenese that chose against joining them. But I hope they've not sacrificed vital limbs in order to remove the cancer. Even Father and enact are still on the surface in Gen's domains, and I long to see them, but a dimness shrouds Eddie's face every time I mention them. Since the break took place, they have interfered with the surface in superficial ways, occasionally sabotaging one of Gen's constructions or stealing food from the villagers. They wear strange masks and costumes during their short forays to the island's surface, and take the regalia very seriously, refusing to be seen by anyone outside the moiety unless they are properly attired. They get much pleasure out of the fact that those on the surface are frightened by these costumes, calling them evil spirits or ghosts. It was during one of these expeditions that they fortuitously rescued me from one of Gen's guards when I first appeared on the island. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have been delivered to Gen immediately. I have no doubt that he's now searching for me. Of course, I am now aware that I was fooled. Atris is not here. I was, at first, devastated by this realization. Now I am thankful. He would be in extreme peril here. Also, there's a quiet inner voice, an echoing remnant, that wants him far away. I have just witnessed an age dying, gasping its last breath. Today I ventured to the surface to see what had become of this island. I hoped it would not be as bad as the moiety had reported. It was worse. They had become slowly accustomed to a steady decay, but I was devastated. The lips from which the kisses wrought has fallen words, will fall cold breath. The womb from which the cry released has suffered hurt, will suffer death. To get to the surface, we had to travel through a complex series of doors and passages. Before the last of these doors, they offered me a weapon, which I accepted, and then a mask. I held the mask in my hands for a while, wondering what sort of terror it might invoke in these members of my family who still live on the surface. But I also knew I must keep my identity hidden from Gen's ever-vigilant eye, so I accepted it as well. Then, together, we swam a short expanse and emerged out of the surface of the ocean under a rocky overhang. The harsh sunlight made my eyes sting, but the fresh, rich air was exhilarating after these past weeks in dank caves. The two men with me were silent, communicating only with hand signals. The three of us emerged from our hiding place and made our way to the top of the plateau. At the edge of a thick and overgrown area of the forest, they stopped, peering through the foliage for a moment, and then turned to me as if waiting my command. But I could not respond. In fact, I found it difficult to move. I was smelling, hearing, and breathing my youth. This swept over me in a matter of seconds, but in seconds more, all feeling was gone. There was numbness. We did not stay long on the surface, but it was long enough to see the worst. Riven, which was once one island, had split apart into 5 distinct pieces, about a half a mile apart. 4 of these had been claimed by Gen as his exclusive domain. Only his ministers and personal militia ever allowed to access them. From my vantage point at the edge of the forest, I could see 3 of these islands. They were stripped of their former beauty and are riddled with Gen's self-absorbed constructions. The moiety rarely visit these closely guarded places. There's another island which I could not see, as it had evidently crept away to a terrific distance. The moiety are very unclear as to what exists on that island, except for the fact that they know it is where the great tree used to exist. The forest is located on the island that the surface dwellers in the moiety still refer to as Riven, but they also still refer to their entire world as Riven. This island is where the village is, which has changed dramatically. It is also one remaining providence of the people through Gen's influence, though Gen's influence can be seen everywhere. Of course, I know the reason for the fracturing of the island. The moiety do not. Gen wrote this place, and it will die, and all of Gen's ages will eventually die. I feel nothing today. I am nothing. I live in a cave on a dying world inhabited by people that... they are treating me so strangely. They don't know how to relate to a god. I'm still an outcast here. They whisper among themselves, talking of bravery during my excursion to the surface. How I walked across the island bold and unafraid. They don't know me. Even Eddie is uncomfortable around me. At times there is no awkwardness, and I am only Katrin to her. But at other times I am something else. I am afraid. There's such a gaunt numbness inside of me. Today I do not feel closeness to my people. Neither am I offended by their worship of me. I do not hate Gen. I don't feel anything. I'm not even sure of... At least Neela is still close. I am boiling. Gen is making and writing books. I wish they had told me sooner. Atris should have realized this would happen, of course. Gen would have written all of the materials necessary to the dunny craft of making books into this age, and probably every other age he wrote. He is attempting to write his way out of here. We did not imprison him, we only delayed him. This age has become his factory, and the people are his machines, all laboring in his mad pursuit to become a god, to carry out his noble dunny cause. So far, he has not been able to produce a fully functional book. Atris has never believed in destiny, but I don't know what else to call it. It's too perfect, it's too much of a coincidence. They hang on my every word, though they do not understand them. I am their hope, and now I have returned. I owe this to them. There is no choice. It's been a long time since my last entry. It is hard to recognize, but I have found the star fissure. It's located on the island which the Rivenese call Alapo, meaning water pool, but which is referred to by the Moedi as Alatuan, meaning pool of stars. Having once allowed Atris to escape this age without leaving an open door behind us, it has since been sealed away with a skin of heavy iron. A crude telescope has been mounted over a locked viewport, the combination to which was acquired by the Moedi before my arrival. In the early days, the Moedi, seeking an escape from Riven, briefly pursued the idea of reopening the fissure. They discovered a small mechanical stop to prevent the scope from hitting the portal window. Ultimately, however, they decided against opening it. I hate to think what would have happened to them if they had not left it alone. I've instructed them to stay away from it. I'm almost certain that, with the decayed state of the island, opening the fissure now would be disastrous. I have heard that in the days immediately following Gen's confinement on Riven, he attempted to determine the feasibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure, for he had seen the mist book fall from Atris's hands in that very same space. To this end, he would have people, alleged transgressors of the law, thrown into it that he could observe their fate. The telescope which stands there is still one he had built for these callous experiments. It is said that they did not die, but what become of them remains a mystery. It appears that the limits of Gen's optics prevented him from learning their fate. The star field beneath the fissure is not as it seems. It is a gentle space, as hospitable to life as a flowing river. This is how Atris explained it, after he had fallen into it. But much more than that we've never understood, and we were never able to conclude upon its origins. But the visions tell me that it was born out of the will of the Maker, perhaps for some greater purpose that we cannot yet understand. I still remember Atris's words from his journal. I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse. There must be some greater reason behind it. I neglected to mention it earlier. The unique shape of one of the great daggers which appeared during our escape from Riven, the very dagger that stands vertical at one of the ends of Alatuan, has been adopted by the Moedi as their symbol for their cause. It is a sacred symbol for them. It is a representation of all their doctrine and a representation to me. To deface the symbol is sacrilege. They have their own mythical explanation regarding its sudden origins. I haven't told them that I wrote it into the age along with all the other daggers. It's strange how such a young religion can be so unbending, even to their own god. I've tried to dissuade them from the notion that the symbol contains so much power. The enemy uses this paranoia against them. They are fearful of Gen's symbol, and are terrorized by some symbolic use of the work. But they don't want to hear this from me. Perhaps my attempts have even caused some of the younger members of the Moedi to doubt that I am Catherine. My rare encounters with those who say they follow Gen have been discouraging. I have hoped to have some communication with the surface villagers, but they always flee from me. But I have heard news of some villagers' beliefs regarding Gen. Soon after we had trapped Gen on Riven, he claimed that he was responsible for the daggers, placing them around the island as a reminder of their failure. In the village circles, it is told that this was a punitive act performed by Gen to mark the beginning of a period of restitution, at the end of which, if they have proven their devotion to him, they will be delivered unto a new and better existence. I will continue to try to reach them. The door is open and Gen is free. Gen has the ability to create working books. In fact, he has written one age before I arrived, but has kept this accomplishment so well hidden that only his closest ministers were aware until now. I'm not sure, perhaps he has written others. Other news. A few years ago, before the Moedi were forced into hiding, one of them managed to steal what appeared to be a test book that Gen had intended to destroy. It had been partially written, but did not work. They didn't tell me this until now. They didn't tell me about it until now, because they thought it was useless. Back then, none of Gen's books worked, but instead of correcting the problem at its source, he blamed it on impure wood of the Riven forest, and proceeded to engineer a cumbersome mechanical remedy, a complex series of domes, to heal his book's inherent flaws. One of the consequences of his crude solution, however, was that the domes demanded huge amounts of energy, and that the related problem delayed his success for quite some time. At last, however, he finished his work and was able to link to an age, but he kept his success extremely well hidden. However, for some reason or another, belligerent pride, he has made modifications to the domes which make it obvious that he's using the domes to breathe life into his half-dead books. Perhaps he means to lure us into using the books in the domes. He can't believe that we would blindly swallow this suicidal bait. But he wouldn't know that we have one of his books, the stolen Burnt Book. I have read Burnt Book. The age it describes would be unsuitable as a new home for the Moiety. Must be modified. I will dream. Have requested a group to solve combination that will open domes. Once open, we can power the Burnt Book. I do not think Gen will interfere, but he will leave the bait. We have begun writing the Moiety Age. Now must acquire second book from Gen. There is tension. A strain blurs my vision and nightmares. Neela and Eddie stay close. Much has happened. Almost everything is prepared. We have stolen another book, but I am concerned Gen will miss it. We have also discovered the combinations for entering the domes, but we have not discovered the method for powering them. By powering our Burnt Book with Gen's domes, we will be able to link to his age, but we will only have access to the domes for a short time before we are discovered. Therefore, we can only use the domes once. I must find another way to make the books work. The gateway images into Gen's books and our Burnt Book all seem to share the same sickness. If they are not powered, the images are black. It might be possible to clear the vision with only... We'll write substance into Moiety Age. All is ready. Now all we can do is wait for word from the Moeditor-esque, who are on the lookout for Gen to power and use the domes. When he does that, we will have access to one of Gen's domes just long enough. After linking to the age which I've written, I only have to locate the book window substance and refine or adapt it. Laying this window over the gateway image should heal the book and make them work. This will allow me to use the second stolen book and return to Riven with more of the book windows. We will then no longer have to rely on Gen's clumsy domes. I laugh at these plans. I sound like Atris. I'm risking my life, but I feel no fear, only anxiety. Perhaps it is the source of my nightmares, the fissure. Like a great wound it opened. It stains the Riven soil with blood. I hold the Moiety knife. The voices grow so loud. For their part, the Moiety have complete faith that I will accomplish my task and lead them to a better world. It is the fulfillment of the prophecy, but they are also fearful and tense. I don't know what they will think or do if I fail. It is done. It seems too good to be true. I feel like it's all still a dream. We have already evacuated all the Moiety to the new age. It is beautiful and I am pleased. At last my people will live in safety and comfort. They stand under the bare sky unafraid and dazzled by their freedom. They are happy. They have named it Tay. There's still so much to be done. We are not protected yet. The only way to completely safeguard this place is to destroy the book which links to here from Riven. But I do not even know how to bring this up to the Moiety. They will be extremely reluctant about destroying their only link to Riven. I share this hesitation. I would be cutting off my only connection, but for their sake it must be done. I am anxious to know if our activities have aroused Gen's suspicions. If so, we must act quickly. Even so, I feel that we are impregnable. Tomorrow I will return to Riven to see Gen's reaction for myself, but tonight I finally rest. And then the note to the stranger. I write quickly from my prison. Neela will return your book, which the Moiety intercepted upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded that it was written by Atris for a very specific purpose. Gen will desire to use it, although he has many suspicions. If you can find my prison, you will still need the combination to release me. Gen keeps it in his office. Then, I assume, we're to signal Atris. I think I know how it might be done. But don't signal him before I am released. Catherine. The other book we're going to check out is this book. This is the book. This is the prison book. That's the prison book, yes. This is the book back. Okay, so we have the prison book and we have this book. Let's go back here. It's a completely different linking sound. I wonder why. Okay. We got everything we need. We now need to release Catherine, but in order to release Catherine, we need to figure out the code, which is kept in Gen's office. I guess. Let's just skip through that. Oop. Okay, there we go. So let's go. Okay, let's go this way. I think we need to go back to Gen's office and see if somehow... Oh no, maybe we should talk to Catherine first. But the only way to get to Catherine is by going through Gen's office. Let's go, okay, let's go back that way then. That's the next plan here. Unless, you know what, no. Let's go back to... They're all intertwined anyways. No, actually, no, I'm going the wrong way, I'm sorry. I have to go back. I need to go back to the Dome Island. I need to go back to the Dome Island. I want to try to open that star... fissure area. And I can go there this way. There wasn't as many puzzles in this, but the puzzles were significantly more difficult. I'm so glad I've been taking notes this far. Okay, we are back here at the Dome puzzle place. So we need to go next to this place, which I believe, according to the little bit of the journal I read, this is where the star fissure is. So we're gonna do this. So it's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 4, 3, 1, 3. Oh, okay. Let's try it this way. There's 5 things. 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't work either. 4, 4, 3, 1, 3. Isn't that what it is? Or is that 2? You know what? Let me look back at my notes real quick. Hang on a second here. Weird. I wonder if I read that wrong then. Open this back up real quick. I must have read it wrong then, unless she wrote it down wrong. Acquired by the moiety. 4, 4. Is that not 3? How am I messing this up? Hold on a second. Oh, it did work. Okay, so I wasn't crazy. I don't really know what this does now, so I want to take a look at this. Okay, I wasn't lifting up on the thing. I thought it would unlock that. I want to see what this turns into now. Oh, that's cool. There's like a black hole there. Can I get down lower? That's cool. Okay. Neato. So, that's something. It doesn't really tell me much. Doesn't really do much. So then the only thing left now is to come back to Catherine, but the only way to do that is to get through Gen's office. So hopefully I can just BS... Oh, you butthead. Hopefully I can BS my way through that so that if he does come there, he won't notice that I have the book. Because if I bring that to him, I don't know how that's going to work. Oh, shit. How is this supposed to... I have to go the other way, don't I? I have to go back to Crater Island, don't I? I've cut all meaning of... Ah, oh, damn it. Okay, that's fine. We have to go all the way back to Crater Island and then come back this way. So, let me get to the back side of that real quick. Hang on, I'm gonna just do a quick transition here. Alright, so we're back here, heading back to the Dome Island. We had to go to the back side of it because for some stupid reason I was an idiot. And I did not raise this back up when I was linking around. So I gotta raise this back up, then go back down. So that I can go down to that dome and get into Gen's home, office, I guess, if you want to call it that. There we go. I suppose before I do this, let me actually change this, because I don't need to go up there anymore. So we'll turn that off, and that'll lower that walkway back down, because that's the whole reason I had to go back to Crater Island, was because that walkway was up, and that was infuriating. I need you to stop, please. I need you to stop, please. There we go. Flip over for me. I need to get back in there. Just like this. It's a lot of running around, which I wasn't exactly ready for. Let's head back here. Alright, I'm back. In Gen's office. Now, I don't want to... Damn it, he's here.
I was greatly relieved when I received word that you had recovered the book. I don't quite know how you managed it, but if I may.
No, don't touch me, you weirdo.
Thank you.
Shit. I hope I saved before this. I was just trying to get to Catherine. Maybe he'll fall for it. Maybe he'll fall for it? It doesn't look like he's falling for it. Oh.
Perhaps it would be best if you went through first.
No. I'll pass.
Apparently you need more time to decide. Please understand, there is nothing I want more than a chance to resolve matters between Atris and myself, especially in light of what has become of Catherine. But unless you are willing to demonstrate to me that your intentions are honorable, I cannot risk it. The sanctuary I've been writing for the Islanders is nearly complete. After all these years, it would be a shame if I were unable to finish it. The work I am doing is quite demanding. Please don't signal me unless you've decided to use the book. The switch will reset itself once you link from here.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't want to do that. That is definitely a trap. I think. Okay. So let's get over to Catherine. This might be a longer episode than I was expecting, because I'm not looking at the time anymore. I just want to keep playing. Mouse, please. Thank you. Okay, let's go over to Catherine and talk to her. I don't know if I can actually talk to her or not. I need to get back to Gen's office, but I need to talk to her first. Is she gonna be here? Yes, please, come talk to me. Hey. Lady. What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, oops. Well, I need to figure out this code then. I don't know what that code is. But it's in Gen's office, she says. So I'm gonna go take a look around there real quick. Still can't skip this. Okay. Let's head back there and see if I can figure this out. Yes, I know. Okay. I don't think I have a way of getting out of here. Unless the code was in a previous... I don't know. Maybe the code was in a previous book? Let me look through my screenshots real quick. Hang on a second. Alright, after looking through my notes, I have nothing else in here. The only method I can think of, which I'm thinking is going to get me stuck, is linking with Gen. So I'm going to save real quick and say play through 3. And I'm going to summon him real quick, which will bring him here. And I'm going to try to link with him now, because that's the only thing I can think of. Make him walk his fat ass back up here. Hello, I'm back. Catherine refuses to help me.
I'm relieved you've returned.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
I thought perhaps you had decided against it.
Oh, okay, let's try this again here.
Here, I shall follow you directly.
Uh-oh. I don't feel good about this. I'm stuck in a book now. Didn't I read in here, though? Hold on. Did I read somewhere about these books? It was in Adris's journal. Wasn't it that... Oh! So wait a second. What? What happened? I switched places with him. Wait, hold on. Did I read that in the journal? Hold on. Let me look through here real quick. I read something about it, but I don't know where. A prison book. Here it is. Many years ago, during a hunting, donation was conforming for a usual type of book. Fortunately, due to the fact that my father's been having blah blah blah. Behind years later, however, as part of my efforts, if I still recall formally with little experimentation. Actually, quite simple. By altering key lines of the text with slightly, a normal Lingy book's connection can be partially severed, such that anyone who attempts to use the book You're permanently trapped to the dark via the link. That is, unless someone else then uses the book. That's exactly... Okay. That's... Okay. Ha 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 ha. I am free. What's out here? Damn it. That's locked. Okay. What is this? Oh, okay. That opens that up. Good. So I've captured Gen. Now all I gotta do is save Catherine and get off this damnable island. But I think I'm gonna do that in the next episode. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying our playthrough of Riven, the sequel to Myst. Follow me on Twitter if you'd like. I've mentioned that a couple times in this series. But I do hope to see you in the next episode. And until then, bye-bye.